What's going on, everybody? Mark here with another episode of The Science of Fishing. Today, we're sitting down with none other than Jamie Bunn. You guys know him. We just wrapped up final sale. Quest for the Crest season is done, and we're shifting gears to the Saltwater Shootout. Jamie, what's going on, man? How was everything? We're shifting gears now.
Shifting gears. It's a fast turn and burn. Literally, we're 48 hours out of final sales. Shout out to Team Jolene for taking down the burgundy jackets. A new winner, new recipient of a very beautiful, prestigious burgundy jacket. So congrats to those guys. But yeah, we've got the first leg of the Pompano Beach Saltwater Circuit, the Mercury CV. Pompano Beach Saltwater Shootout is coming up in just a few weeks, mid-May. So we got to get rocking and rolling, and obviously stoked to be here in this podcast with you to promote a little bit about what's coming down the pipeline. And while we do that, I guess we need to give a shout out to, as far as these podcasts that we're collabing with you on, our new sponsor, powered by Summit Studios here in Boca Raton.
Yep.
I think we would both agree, right, that we've both benefited from quite a lift in terms of, like, look at this set, right?
It's crazy.
Amazing to be able to put a set like this together to promote our great series of tournaments, and obviously your amazing platform, Science of Fishing. Shout out to Mark Miller. He's a great friend, fishes all the tournaments. He's a partner in this studio here in Boca. And so in conversations with him, we discovered that this was an asset that we could use in the studio podcasting that we were going to do. So we'll have some more information in the description below for you guys. But yeah, anybody that's in the content creation business, looking for a place to do some really rad studio work, these guys have it. They've got a new studio that they're building out coming soon with a 10 by 26 curved video wall panel. Going to be some amazing things. I'm sure you'll be knocking on Mark's door.
Oh, yeah.
See if we can
texting him later.
Yeah, see if we can jump in that studio. And again, also for corporate partners, we've got many great ones, but anybody locally looking for opportunities, this is a studio that's available for the exact type of stuff that we're doing. And I know they've got a full production team as well that can do everything from A to Z. Whether you have your own content creation team or you need them to do it for them. So, powered by Summit Studios, I guess let's talk meat fishing in the summer series.
Let's talk meat fishing, Jamie. So this year it's the 30th anniversary of the series. Let's go back 30 years. How did we start to where we got to today?
30 years ago, I was 19 years old. You can do the math on that. So I started at a very young age. This whole thing was, I think one of the coolest parts of the story is, it's not uncommon, but I think this whole thing was created out of passion, out of a true love for fishing and a true love for really competitive fishing. And at the age of 19, I was at University of Florida. Go Gators, coming right off.
Here we go.
Of that natty.
Yeah.
Basketball team got it done in San Antonio last night, so couldn't be more stoked about that. That's why I'm wearing the gear. But yeah, I was working part-time at a little tackle shop called Tackle Depot, and they basically needed business. They were a new store. So I said, hey, why don't you let me run a fishing tournament for you? It's what I love to do. And that's where the first tournament started, which was the Tackle Depot tournament. We've talked about this on a previous podcast. Yep. And that became eventually the Saltwater Slam, which is the second leg of the series today, and is celebrating its 30th anniversary. Wow. So we've got, this is the new magazine, fresh off the press. This will be hitting stores this week, hitting mailboxes already. There's a nice little 2-page spread in there that kind of goes back down memory lane.
Right.
And we still literally, 30 years later, I still have people that are fishing this tournament that walked into the front door at Tackle Depot 30 years ago.
Wow.
And they're still a part of the tournaments today.
That's incredible, man.
Pretty impressive.
To be able to start something like that, have it running for 30 years, there's legacy, there's history, there's tradition in that tournament and in the whole series now. So it's like, that's quite incredible to see. Kudos to you, Jamie, for that. You've been rocking out.
It's been a combination of great people. I think, angler first formats. There's no other tournaments, I think, on earth that pay out the kind of money that these tournaments here in this summer series do for the fee that's charged to the anglers. I mean, over 100% of what we take in, we push back to them. It's not an easy formula. Most people would say, how are you making a business out of this?
Yeah.
And we have some great corporate partners, and that's a huge part of it. But yeah, we're excited to get this party started. Coming May 17th, which is Saltwater Shootout competition day.
Yep. Well, over 600 grand is up for grabs and prizes and cash. So everybody, make sure you go sign up. But let's talk a little bit about Mercury CV of Pompano and how they've impacted the series and everything that's gone on.
Sure. I think one of the great things about Pompano is it's been a community that's always embraced fishing. And obviously fishing is a huge part of the recreational lifestyle here in South Florida. And there is like legit heritage of really, really talented fishermen that come out of Hillsborough Inlet and Pompano Beach, Florida. And that's from meat fishing to bill fishing to tuna fishing, like the list goes on. And I think one of the things that's really kind of a rewarding feeling for me is how those captains, how those anglers, how those crews have influenced the generations of anglers to follow them. And I feel like I'm pretty equipped to say this in observing the sport for 30 years, that the energy and the excitement, even particularly with the youth, which is more present in this series than any other events that we run, is at an all-time high. I mean, we have kids that just come in and participate and live for fishing and tournament fishing, and it makes me feel proud to know that we've played a role in that in some capacity.
That's incredible. I mean, like you said, there's some of the best guys that come out of Pompano. I know some of those guys.
Sure.
It's incredible. I've fished alongside them in some of your tournaments. It's awesome being over there. So talk to me a little bit about some of the best memories. So it's 30 years of history. I mean, you've got to have something.
Oh my gosh, it's hard. It's honestly hard to pick one, because there's, we've had a 96-pound wahoo weighed in by the old Advanced Roofing boys back in the day. We've had small boats, under 25 feet that have won tournaments in the past. Lots of exciting stuff, but I think kind of on a fishing level, I would say the most memorable moments for me, because we still talk about them today, and committee members who tell the stories. My dad's notorious for telling the same story over and over again, but I'll take it as long as I can get it. Goes back to day one of when we had opened the doors at Tackle Depot for the first kickoff party of the tournament ever. Didn't know what to expect. Signed up 57 boats, had a little, piece of paper trifold for our brochure, had a styrofoam cooler behind, the showcase, in the store where we do all the rigging and stuff to collect cash, which, believe it or not, is still a currency that should be taken today, even though it's not taken in all places. And we were just like, to say we were underwater and overwhelmed would be an understatement. I mean, there was a line of people out the door. The street out front of the building was blocked with cars trying to figure out where to park. And again, this is the story that I hear all the time. Ronnie and Lynn Mitchum, who's works for me now part-time as an admin assistant. Her and her husband are both on our committee. They were fishing the tournament that day. They could see that we were buried, and had the blinders on and said, "Hey, do you need some help?" And that started a great relationship of 30 years. They're the godparents to both of my sons. And that's the kind of people, they're not the only ones, but that's a story that stands out. That's the kind of people that have been a part of our journey over 30 years and have really truly made this kind of a real family experience that, even in the tough times, because there's so much, a lot of people see on the front side, they see the glamour of running fishing events, but until you really get in the trenches, you don't see the real grind and the dirty side and the challenging side, which is, I think, what makes the best events the best.
Yeah.
And you know, we've had great people that like Ronnie and Lynn that have helped make that possible for us.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure you've made relationships along the way that last a lifetime. I mean, our relationship now, man, it's awesome, you know. So seeing that flourish in new relationships, old relationships, things coming together, that is a pretty sweet thing to have out of all of this.
Absolutely.
You know, lasts way longer than a fish, right?
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. So speaking of relationships, we want to thank Summit Studios. We're going to go to a message from them from this beautiful studio.
Summit Studios is a state-of-the-art production facility equipped with a breathtaking 13 by 10 foot 8K LED video wall, offering vibrant, ultra-high definition imagery designed to create customizable virtual environments, 6K camera recording, and everything you need to bring your creative vision to life. Ideal for podcasts, talk shows, commercials, and corporate videos. Visit summitstudiosgroup.com to learn more or book now.
Welcome back, guys. So Jamie, we're gearing up. We're getting ready to start fishing. We're gonna be at the Cove and Deerfield and Sailfish Marina, right? Talk to me about that relationship, since we just talked about relationships, and what's gonna be happening over there with the weigh-ins.
Sure. So, I mean, the DNA of the tournaments, you know, is in Pompano Beach. It's why it's called the Pompano Beach Saltwater Circuit, and that I expect to never change. However, like, as times change and situations change, I think you have to, as an event organizer, you have to be prepared to evolve.
Yeah.
And going back a few years ago, you know, we realized a scenario where we had a lot of teams, felt like there was enough teams up in Palm Beach that really were enthusiastic about being a part of the series, but the logistics of having to run down and do a physical checkout in Pompano to probably run back north up to Palm Beach where they like to fish, to come back to weigh in and then go back home was a lot. Time, money, everything.
Yeah.
And so Sailfish Marina is a great partner of ours in the Quest for the Crest series. And we, a couple of years ago, decided to offer a satellite station, which basically allows teams to leave from wherever they want. There's boundaries in the tournament now, and they check out in the morning on camera, kind of like they would do in our sailfish tournaments. And then they have 2 locations now of which they can return and weigh their fish. Sailfish Marina in West Palm is the North Satellite Scale, and then the main scale where all the partying and all the action goes down is at the Cove in Deerfield. You've seen our tiki set here in the studio at Summit. Ironically, you know, the Cove has a beautiful tiki bar themselves right there on the Intercoastal. And it's a great setup. We've got an open lot right next door. City of Pompano brings in their big showmobile stage. We set it up. You've got a great crowd there, waterfront, just ready to take in the sights and see these teams bringing some big fish to the scales for hopefully some big payouts.
That's exciting. That's super awesome. So I can't wait to get over there. I mean, I've been over to the Cove. I've experienced all that. Been drinking there. Been having a good time there, you know, with buddies. So it's gonna be electric.
Sure.
But getting there, you can get there by land or you can get there by water.
Correct.
So let's talk a little bit about CV's involvement and their, you know, stake inside the series.
Sure. So yeah, you know, CV Mercury are our title partners. You know, 2 decades and beyond for both of them. I couldn't be more appreciative of 2 great brands that just invest in the fishing community at the ground level, like both of those brands have over the years. And again, another point of I think just something that I'm very proud of is the culture that we've been able to create through the PBSC Summer Series with CV boats. Obviously, it starts with a great brand. They build a fabulous boat, and that makes our job a little bit easier. But the combination of that together with our great events and putting some really great teams into CV boats over the years, and then also investing in the experience for those CV boats at the teams. they have sponsored and supported financially raft ups at the weigh-in, for the CV guys to be able to come in, to be seen at a little bit of a higher level. They provide them some, added hospitality in the way of food and beverage and all that kind of stuff. And, it's just I think it's a great way for them to thank their customers who support them by supporting them in something they're passionate about. So that's going to be happening at the Cove. They've got a dedicated area where they'll all be rafted up, and CV pays for a VIP tent where they go in and they can eat and have drinks and everything, have a front row view to the weigh-in that's going on, and it just it adds a little bit of almost kind of a spectating experience too for the crowd that likes to see all these guys rafted up on their boat and partying together.
Sounds like I got to call Ariel. I need a CV now.
Yeah. Hey, listen, I know
want to be
guy.
part of the club, man.
I know a guy. And don't discount the fact that there are many people in the tournaments. They understand the quality of, the manufacturing and craftsmanship in a CV, but they also wanted to be a part of that raft up.
Right. Exactly.
So
it's an exclusive club.
There's no doubt that it influenced the purchasing process at times.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Well, with that, we're going to get a quick message from CV.
Your CV is a different kind of boat. It's built for adventure, built to a higher standard, your standard. It's designed for where and how you fish, and powered by the motors you prefer. Your CV is enjoyed by all who spend time aboard. Your CV is made just for you, to chart your own course. CV Boats, lead the way.
Jamie, we're going to be at the Cove. We're going to be at this awesome place, and we're going to have incredible people around us. There's such not a crazy community, but it's such a tight-knit community of fishy people, family fun. Let's talk a little bit about how you brought that together, what the thought process is there, and what's going to be happening for everybody that wants to be part of that community.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, any great event, particularly these competitions, has to be about more than just money.
Yeah.
Because there's way more people that don't win trophies and prize money than do. And so it's really about, it's about the experience that they have when they're together, the social side of things. And we've always prided ourselves on the return and the payout that we have, to our meat fish teams. I think it's unmatched anywhere in these types of tournaments. However, beyond that, we want the events to be a great time. And fortunately, again, it all comes down to a lot of hard work and great partnerships. But, we've got great brands like, Land Shark Lager that are involved in the tournaments, other brands, Josh Wines, Island Marauder Brewery and Distillery. And, they, with their help, were able to provide open bars for our teams, when they're actually at the parties. We've got the Hooters girls serving up the drinks.
Yep.
We bring in our world famous DJ Select to keep the party rocking with all the entertainment. You've got silent auctions. You've got the IGFA that gets involved in free fishing clinics, for the kids. And there's raffles. There's so many things. Bonefish Max rolls out a great food display for the teams. And we do the same thing at the award ceremony. And all of that, along with, we've got a new apparel sponsor coming in this year, Kula Bar, with our new featured artist, Eddie Forbes.
Yep.
They're going to have 4 beautiful long sleeve shirts that they get in their tournament bag or bucket, along with all that hospitality. That's included. And if a boat entry fee of $475.
Wow.
The 4 shirts alone themselves, if you were buying them in a rack off a store, couple $100,
yeah.
They get fed, they get drinks, they get to party. It's what I would expect out of a premier event, where you want people to walk away saying, I can't wait for the next one, and it has nothing to do with whether they won money or didn't win money.
Yeah.
I'm not going to discount the fact that people are competitive and they want an opportunity to win, and we've got prize structure, I think, that gives them those opportunities depending upon what their experience level is and what kind of fishing they like to do. But yeah, the parties have to be fun.
Yeah, no, of course, and it has to be incredible. It has to be a good, environment and everything. And I've been to the parties. I have a great time every time. So,
sure, of course.
So the prize structure, though, you're talking about people being competitive, is very unique. You have a few different levels. Let's talk to me. How do I win? Each one, and how am I competitive? What are these teams looking to accomplish when they're out there?
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. There's so many ways for people to win money and be recognized in the tournaments. I probably push the brain power of my team, Chris, Julie, Lynn, behind the scenes, because there's so many things to figure out at the conclusion of a tournament. But that's the kind of work that's worth putting in, because the return is there in terms of people's satisfaction. And so, we have a big part of the tournaments for years was always focused on combined weight and aggregate weight, a big bag. The tournament allows you to weigh in a maximum of 10 fish, no more than 4 per species. Eligible species are dolphin, wahoo, kingfish, blackfin tuna, and cobia. And that concept of determining the best team in the PBSC Summer Series will never change, in that it's always going to be based on aggregate weight. But I've learned over the years that there's, for a variety of reasons, time, money, interest, whatever, there's some teams, whether they're families or just casual fishermen, that are not equipped or won't be equipped to compete at that kind of a level. And so that's where we kind of split the team prize structure up a year or so ago into a big bag and a big fish. Big bag is your aggregate weight, $10,000 for first place, guaranteed. Now pays down 8 places, was 5 places last year. And then we have the big fish, which is based on a single heaviest fish, first, second, third, $5,000 for first, I think $2,500 for second, and down from there. But the kicker for that is you can't win both sides. So you have to decide when you register, are you targeting the big bag and the aggregate weight, or are you targeting the big fish?
What do you think most of the pro teams are going to do? So I know
they're definitely going to be big bag because they're aggregate weight guys.
Yeah.
But what it did is we saw it spread, and I would say it's probably 50-50 split of who gets in the big bag versus who gets in the big fish. And we saw last year firsthand teams winning money. You had I can't think of their team name. Hey Chris, what's the name of Ability? Thank you. Okay. Good. So yeah, you had like a team like Ability last year that weighed in a heavy fish in the first tournament, and they won close to $20,000 because of that big chunk of money in the big fish. And then, what's cool though is, even though you have to make a decision on those 2 categories, everything else is wide open. So we have our species division, first, second, third heaviest of each eligible species. We have a small boat division for boats 26 feet and under. We have mid-range divisions for boats between 27 and 32. And then you have all of these a la carte Calcuttas. That stuff is non-specific. Like the big bag guys can qualify for any of that. The big fish guys can qualify for any of the other stuff, right?
Okay.
So, we had case in point, like the Ability team. We had a major jackpot last year, the KDW jackpot. It was up over $80,000, and I believe it was the June tournament. They caught a Whale King, they caught a dolphin that was 14 pounds, and they caught a small wahoo. They were the only team to do it, and they won that KDW jackpot, plus some other ancillary prize structures, and won almost $90,000.
Wow.
$90,000. This
That's
is a
awesome.
tournament that they paid less than $500 to get into, and then they probably added another $1,000 or so in optional Calcuttas, and they walked home with $90,000.
That's a nice ROI.
I would say so. So,
Well,
Pick 3.
okay, thank you.
Put that in there.
Yeah. And so, $90,000 is, it's quite a payday, right?
yeah.
Well, get ready for this. Are you ready for this?
I don't know if I am. I'm bracing.
There, we have another rollover style category similar to the KDW Jackpot called the Pick 3. The difference being the Pick 3 happens the morning before fishing starts, and it could be any 3 of the 5 eligible species that are pulled out of basically a sealed container.
Yeah.
And when those 3 are determined, those are the 3 that have to be caught in order to be eligible to win the money.
Wow.
So let's just say it was king dolphin tuna. You have to catch those 3 species. If more than one team does it, then whoever has the heaviest combined weight of those 3 fish wins the jackpot. That jackpot is also up over $80,000. I think it's,
Oh my goodness.
it's in the mid 80s right now. So
Anybody's game.
if you need a little incentive to say, I'm not sure what we're going to do, get registered for the Saltwater Shootout and make sure if you do, you're in that pick 3.
Oh, I'm sure they will
Because
be.
Anybody could do that.
Right,
There's
right.
there's skill levels of skill involved in all this,
Yeah.
but you got to get lucky when it comes down to some of that stuff too.
Right, right. Well, speaking of 3, there's a trifecta, the Raymarine trifecta.
That's correct. Yes.
What's that?
So shout out to Ray Marine. They're a great partner of ours. Came on board with us last year as presenting sponsor of the Quest for the Crest. Just outfitted my new 37 CV with Ray Marine. Absolutely loving it. Getting ready to take a trip to Bimini here in a couple weeks and hopefully get on some tuna.
Yeah.
With my open array radar. But yeah, they also crossed over and they came in as our official electronic sponsor of the summer series this year. And we had some product allocation from them, and I was trying to think about what could we do with it. Obviously we could auction it, and that's cool and all, and good for the tournaments. But at the end of the day, we also want to help them put more people in boats with Ray Marine electronics to experience the cutting edge technology that they're bringing to the table right now. And so the trifecta basically is, it's no additional money. It's a part of your basic entry fee, and it's series based, and it will basically look at your 3 heaviest fish weighed in for the series, but they have to be 3 different species, right?
Okay.
And so it could be any of the 3 any 3 of the 5.
Right.
Whatever your 3 heaviest are, we're going to calculate that total weight
Over the 3 tournaments.
over the 3 tournaments. It could end up, now the kicker is that to be eligible to win this basically $10,000 Ray Marine product credit, you have to actually fish all 3 tournaments.
Okay.
We'll take the heaviest scores from any of the 3 tournaments. It could be 2, it could be 3, it could be 1.
Yeah.
But the only way you can have a shot at that $10,000 product credit, which could mean putting a brand new multifunction display on your boat, autopilot. It could be, open array, 12 kW radar.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be a super exciting offering, and thank you to Ray Marine for.
It'll go nice with a CV.
That's right. That's right. Hey, listen, I'm already spoiled. I'm already experiencing the difference in the quality of the Ray Marine product. So we just need to get more people to experience the same. That's what this is part of.
Absolutely. And speaking of people experiencing things, in the Quest series, you get a nice burgundy jacket, right? In the summer series, there's a Showdown Crown, the rings, right?
Little ring bling, baby.
Right? Yeah.
That's right.
They're
Yeah.
like Super Bowl sized, right?
That's it.
Okay.
Hey, listen. Series fishing for me is where it's at.
Yeah.
I think I'm such a competitive-minded guy, and I think that's what drives a lot of these teams, is to have that special moment where you have achieved something that is extremely difficult to accomplish, and then to be able to celebrate that in a very memorable way. And so the Showdown Crown, just like the Quest for the Crest Burgundy Jacket, we have a scoring system that's exactly the same. It recognizes the top 30 teams in each tournament. It's a linear scoring format where they get 1 point for each position and a bonus point in first place. And then as we travel through the 3 legs of competition, you figure out where everybody lands in those standings. Highest score wins. A beautiful set of championship rings, and obviously membership to a lifetime club that has some extreme
slayers
recognition to it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, hopefully one day I can get one of those rings. It'll be awesome. I can't wait.
You got to start somewhere. Right?
I know, right?
You got to start somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. So right now we're gonna go to a message from Mercury.
Your boat, your outboard, your passion. Make your Mercury V8 or V6 outboard a little more you with an easy-to-install color accent panel kit. Panels come factory painted in one of 5 sharp colors: Redline Red, Pacific Blue, Mercury Silver, Graphite Gray, or Pro Black. There's even a primed for paint version that you can personalize to be as bold or as subtle as you'd like it. Mercury Color Accent Panels, the perfect complement to total performance.
Jamie, where are we? We're at the Shark BBQ, right? Like, what's
could-
going on, man?
We could be. We're actually we're at the Fish Bluewater Bait Shack, my friend.
Oh.
This visual on the screen behind us is actually the wrap on the side of our building. Again, shout out to the amazing Eddie Forbes. He created this for us. I feel like I need to crack one of these things right now.
Let's do
look,
it.
I'm right here at Hillsborough Inlet. I mean, hey,
There we go.
But yes, the Land Shark BBQ. This is a new addition for 2025. Beer and burgers just go together, right?
Yeah.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna just chill and grill May 1st, which is when registration closes. Early registration closes, I should say, for the shootout. We're gonna be on site at the Fish Bluewater Bait Shack, also known as tournament headquarters, our office. And I got a steel drum guy coming. We're gonna have a big, massive grill, burgers, hot dogs, cold land shark, and it's gonna be the last opportunity for teams to register and save that $100 on early registration.
Okay.
We'll probably have some raffles and some giveaways. Probably have a couple of our sponsors on site that might have some product to showcase. And we're just going to get together and do what we like to do, which is spend time with people that we care about in the fishing community.
Yep.
And I love events like this because you have months that have gone by and people have been just bottled up energy where
Yeah.
they're just ready to get back into that series
Yep.
again, right?
Ready
And
to meet fish.
Yeah, people are just fired up. They're excited to have their season back, and it's another thing for us to do, but it's something that we enjoy doing because it brings people together, and it also allows us to support great partners like Land Shark.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. So we're gearing up for the season. We're going to have this pre-party when early registration closes, right? May 1st. And then we have the shootout, then the slam, and then the showdown, right?
Correct.
What are the dates for those?
So May 17th, kickoff party on the 15th for the shootout. June 14th is fishing for the slam, kickoff party on the 12th. August 14th, kickoff for the showdown, and fishing is on the 16th. They're all one-day tournaments, easy to commit to in terms of investment of time, very affordable. Even if you just want to get in the basic tournament, there's countless ways to win just off of that general entry fee alone. And then we have other optional entry bets that they can get into depending upon what kind of an appetite they have for competition and winning money.
Yeah, and if you're not a 30-year pro like some of these other guys, like I'm not, but I know how to fish, it's still, you have that capability to be able to participate and do what you want to do and be competitive.
Hey, listen, the most money last year was won by one of our semi-pro teams. point. I mean, it's a fact.
Yeah.
They're not a semi-pro team anymore
Right.
because they moved themselves up in the standings, and I'm sure that they're happy about that. But yeah, I mean, we intentionally create opportunity. I'll put it this way: I feel like all the recognition for being the best should be what it is, which is we recognize those teams that compete at the highest level, the elite teams that have put in countless hours grind, not just for this season but years. You know, it's I guess I would say it's the professional level of the sport, and that's
Right.
where I feel like all the accolades should go for being the best.
Yeah.
Every sport is like that, right? But we also want to create many opportunities for people that aren't at that level that can still have fun, can still win money, and can still be recognized. And I think that these tournaments offer the perfect balance of both sides of that.
Right, right. Well, registration's open right now. We got the shootout coming up, right? You said May 17th is a tournament day. May 15th is the captain's meeting. Early registration closes May 1st.
Yep.
So, gotta sign up.
That's it. Fish.bluewatermovements.com is the registration platform for all of our tournaments. You can also go right to bluewatermovements.com and just go through our events link, scroll over to Summer Series, Saltwater Circuit, and we have pages there for everything that they're going to have questions about, from schedule of events, general prize structure, optional prize structure, links that'll take them right to the registration portal, and that's it. They just, all they have to do is decide that they want to be a part of the best meat fish tournaments in South Florida and have a great time, and we'll do the rest.
There you go. Well, Jamie, thanks for sitting down with me. Congratulations to your Gators. And guys, we'll see you guys next time at the turn.